Hello students, welcome back. So here we are going to be uh, to the conclusion of the last lesson. So that is the struggle for equality. So as this in COVID-19 pandemic period, so that the portions and the concepts everything reduced. So in this manner, this is the last lesson. So as I'm going to teach you for this academic year. So here, the struggle for equality. Equality means what? Everyone are equal under the law or the constitution. So this is how the struggle, whatever the struggles and whatever the movements happened, that we're going to discuss now. Struggle for equality. So in this book, you have read about the people like Kanta in a social and political life. In book, you have learned about the Kanta and Ansari and Melanie, Sopna. Thread the connect to the all these lives and the, has been treated unequal. So what do people do when they face such inequality? So what is that? History is full of example of the persons who have come together to fight against the inequality and for issue of justice. So do you recall the stories of Rosa Parks in chapter 1 so that we have discussed? So and also you can remember in women movements so such as so those are all against the inequality and to gain the equality. Okay, so let's move on to the lesson. So we are going to be concentrate on that. What are the struggles and movement happened and everything that. All adults in the India have equal rights to vote during the election. So the power over the ballot boxes. So that voting we have that after 18 years. So everybody will get the what is that universal adult franchisee. So under this one, everybody are going to get the voting power. So the power over the ballot boxes has been used by the people to elect and replace the representative. So this is we know very well about this one. But this equality, it is only for this vote. So vote of one person is as good as that another. It does not extend most of the people's lives, isn't it? One for one vote. But as you read, the increasing the privatization. So the government it's changing over all these working the factories or any other whichever are under the control of the government. It is now privatizing. So when this increasing of privatization, the health services and neglect of the government hospitals made it difficult for the poor people like Kanta, Akim Sheikh, among those we have learned. So the healthcare facilities, it is not sufficient. How the private is giving the good health facility and these government hospitals are neglecting or completely neglecting this one. So these people do not have the resource affordable expense to these private health services. So what they do that similarly, the man who sells juice does not have the resource to compete with all of the major companies, the local people, the local juice seller, and the other one, the branded drinks. So the comparison between that expensive advertising one. So and also we have seen that in a previous lesson, Sapna does not have a sufficient resource to get the branded products. Okay, they wanted to shift over to the such as lower prices. So these are all the examples we have seen that. So here poverty and lack of resources. So remember that poverty and lack of resources continue to be a key reasons why so many people lives in India is highly unequal. So this is the main reason. Discrimination on the basis of the person's religious, caste, and sex. So, such as we can give that example about the Valmiki. Okay, so that Om Prakash Valmiki. So that was the incident you know very well about this one. Huh? So the significant factor why people are treated unequal in India. So these are all the discriminations happened there. struggle for equality. So apart from this one, how they are come out from this one, what are the struggles and movements happen, let's focus now. Throughout the world, in every community, village, city, town, and you will be find it that such as there are some of the people who are known and respected because of their fight for the equality. So these have stood up against an act of the discrimination that they have faced or what they witnessed. So maybe well respected because they are treated as a person dignity, so trusted, called upon to resolve the issues of the community. Often, some of these persons become more wider recognizes because they have supported in the large number of the people and united and addressed the particular issue of inequality. So in India also the several struggles in which people come out for this one. Okay, so in chapter 5, women's movement, so those we have learned about this one. Okay, and also we mainly discuss about that different Om Prakash Valmiki and women struggle a lot, and women change the world. In those and all we have seen that how they had treated unequally. So attempts to form the cooperation or other uh, collective ways why people can have more control over resources. So that is a struggle that happened there. So here one of the example that is being given, Tava Matsya Sangha. Tava Matsya Sangha, TMS is going to be called that. So Tava, it's a river. Okay. So let's focus now. When dams are built or forest areas declare the what is the sanctuaries for animals, thousands of people are displaced. So if it is done like this, the people who are living in inhabitant areas for the people, those need to be uh, displaced from there. Okay, so whole villages are uprooted and the people are forced to go and build new houses, start new lives elsewhere. So wherever the government allows it, or then it will shift out to the other places. So they're all most of the poor people. So usually that rich people will be what to do? They shift to the urban areas. Okay. So bastis in which poor people live are often uprooted. Some of them are relocated areas outside the city. Their work as well as their children schooling is severely disputed, and distance from the outskirts to the city are these longer. So this displacement of people and communities of the problem became the quite widespread in our country. It's a quite common in there. So wherever they were after the independence, wherever it's going to be constructed dams and the forest secured area, so they were clearing those peoples from that particular area. So people usually come together to fight against this. There are several organizations across the country fighting for the rights of the displacements. So here, just focus on this one. Thawa Matsya Sangha, the Federal of Fisher Works, mm, Fisher Workers Cooperative, an organization fishing for the rights to displace forest dwellers of the Satpur forest in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, this happened in the Madhya Pradesh. Uh, Originating the Mahadev Hills of Chindawara district, the Thawa flows through Bechur before joining to the Narmada in Wasangabad. So Thawa Dam began to build in 1958 and was completed in 1978. So 20 years it has taken. The submerging large area of the forest and agriculture land. So this forest dwellers who left with nothing. Some of the displaced people settled around the reservoir, and apart from there, the majors forms found livelihood in the fishing. They earned very little because the fishing and because they are not having such kind of the what is it facilities there when they move on to this one. So what are the problems faced there and how the struggle has taken? Let's focus now. So here it is a picture about that a dam built across the river of at a site where one can collect lot of water. So this because it is a picture you can see that the in a textbook also it's given that that area where they were living they need to be come out from that area. So this formed the reservoir and as the water collects and submerges that vast area of land. So this because of that, so the river high and the water spread in the large area. So that's why they need to be come out of this one. The whole Tehri town and 100 village, some totally and some partially were submerged with this dam. Okay, so most nearly 1 lakh people. See, amazing, 1 lakh people were displaced. So this is a huge target. In 1994, the government gave a right for the fishing to the Tawa reserves to the private contract. So this is very important. So fishing right for fishing Tawa reservoir so to the private contractor. So what contractor did that to the local people away? So they drove local people away and got cheap labor from the outside. So the contract began to threaten the villagers and who did not want to leave by bringing in hoodlums. So this is the problem which was faced. So they were earning already little. So now the private contractors were not allowed to do this for the little amount also. So this was the major problem faced by these villagers. The villagers stood united and decided that it was time to set up an organization and do something protect their rights. So in this way, the newly formed Tawa Matsya Sangha (TMS) organized rallies and check jams. So that is road blockage, damaging their rights to the continuing fishing livelihood. So after this one, in response of this protest, the government created a committee to assess the issue. What was the problem? Why it is there protesting and everything. The committee recommended fishing rights be granted to the villagers for their livelihood. This is only the thing they were asking, and committee also be uh, said the same thing only. In 1996, Madhya Pradesh government decided to give the people displacement by the Tawar Dam fishing rights to the reservoir. So the 5 years lease agreement was signed 2 months later on January 2nd, 1997. People from 33 villages of Tawa state started to New Year with this fish catching. So by fishing, they started and celebrated the New Year. So this is a reason how the struggle and see this is a picture about the we are protesting and blockaging the road and this was that. With the TMS taking over the fish workers were able to increase their earning substantially. So here this is one of the cooperative it became that. So they were purchasing the what is that? They were catching the fishes and they were making for the fair price. Cooperative would be then arranged to the which one transport and sell this to market where they would be get the good price. So it began and 3 times more than the earn earlier. So what they were doing just they were fishing and they were selling for the low prices. Now they are moving to the other areas and where they get the good prices and they started to sell that. How they were doing that? The TMS began to giving the fishing workers to loan and repair and buying the new nets. So these are all the facilities is provided and also be another thing is about that the vehicle facilities and transportation facility also be provided. In this they were reaching to the particular area and selling the market in the markets. Now they can be the good managers. So the creating expressions against the inequality. So this is one of the inequality expressions it was done. So you can refer it that. Okay. So the Indian Constitution has a lively uh, document. The foundation of all the movements of the justice and the inspiration of all the poetry and songs on equality. It is recognizations that all the people are equal. So this is said by the what is it? The Constitution. As you know, the Indian Constitution recognizes the equality of all the persons. Movements and struggles for the equality in India continuously refers in Indian Constitution the points of the equality and justice for all. The fisher workers of Tawa Matsya Sangha hope for the provinces of the constitutions will be reality and lively document. So it says that referring that the constitution they use it as a living document. Okay, so something that has a real meaning in our lives. So this is only that. So complete constitution, the center of the main pillar of the constitution that is equality only. So there are always communities and individuals trying to expand the ideas of the democracy, push of the greater recognition of equality and existing as well as the new issues. So these are all the issues in the democracies and everything. So idea of equality in a democracy, it was added, highlighted. So here, including the privatizations of the health centers, and then recently the central government also executed some of issues such as the privatization, private hospitals, or charging the more for the operations or any other kinds of these medicines and everything. That so they have produced the Jan uh, bank accounts. Another thing is about that what is it, Jan Haushad. Okay, it is commonly it's available for every highest paying the medicines should be available easily for the lowest cost. Okay, so like that the different types of the organizations they are planning, though these increase in control over the business hours, so that is in the media and low value given to the women and their work and low earning made for the small farmers who give grow cotton. So these are all that what is that they are working the same effort, they are putting their same effort, but the earning of that it is vary from place to place and also be depend on the situation. So these issues substantially affect poor and my um, marginalized communities thereafter concern economic and social equality in the country. So in this manner, so they have protest and everything it is done that. Okay, so there was a violence against women, so it is a woman it's speaking about this one. So such as the incidents happen this one. Okay, so when the people are struggling a lot, so by the time the core of the struggle for the equality in democracy, it is made that the dignity and self-respect of the each person and their community can only be realized if they have advocates resource to support and nurture their families. So if they are not discriminate against, so these are all these facilities. So nowadays that NERM, sorry, this one NABARD. So through that, then minimum wages should be provided. Like that, everything it is making it. The government also be guiding for the privatization. So nowadays, you could see that most of the places, as we have seen that, so the wages and salaries, everything is revises in this manner. It is almost moving to the equality only. Okay, though we have these kinds of this equality. So again, the protests and the struggles are happening there. So apart from this comparing to the post independence days, so now it is better. Okay, so that is we are also be improving in everywhere this one. Okay, so equality and common things and everywhere the salaries and also be that every things it's improved means definitely the country will be grown in economic. So as per the reports by the another 5 to 6 years the country will be considered as a developed country. So still we are considered as a developing country. So the developed countries such as America, Russia, Japan, like that. So our countries also will stand for the developed country. So that means we need to be come out of this poverty, unemployment, and that equality, everything. So that inequality. So thus we should come out from this, and we should respect for everyone. So this is a lesson about the what is that? How the equality it is struggled. Okay, how it is going to be checked the areas and how the supported for every issues. So this is about the lesson. So by this we are going to be what is complete the portion of the is this year 2021. So whatever next the test and examinations are there, so just prepare it for this and do well this one. So if we have any related to the doubts and all means we will discuss it later. Okay, thank you children, have a great day, bye.